Hi, the Namm show actually started in 1902. That's the very first show that we had, which was just a few months after the origin of the organization, which was in May of 1901. The Namm organization actually was called a few different names before we settled on the National Association of Music Merchants, which is what Namm stands for. But we incorporated in that name in New York City in 1901, so that's why we still use that name. During the 1980s, of course, we expanded into the international market much more than before. So we sort of call ourselves the International Music Products Association, although we still use the acronym Namm. So, of course, being an organization around for over 115 years, the Namm Show has experienced its ups and downs just like every business. For example, during the Great Depression in America, we closed our doors for 2 years. In fact, the president of the organization sold the furniture to help pay his own bills in the 1930s. And then we came back after World War II very strong and continued to grow during that time. But it's an example that just like the country and the world, when there is a problem, it does affect all markets, including the music industry. So in 2008, unfortunately, Namm had its own cutbacks. We had to let go of some employees, and it was difficult for us as an organization, just like so many others around the world. And we feel that just as much as everyone. So when the economy picks up, we're very excited about introducing new products at the Namm Show and having opportunities for other people to come in and display their instruments, as well as new stores that are popping up all over the world that come in to the Namm Show to check out items to buy. No, that's a very good question. Our relationship with China has been great, although very slow in the beginning. I remember the 1980s. It was very problematic to bring our Chinese members to the Namm Show, both as exhibitors and as buyers, with the visas and the various paperwork that was required by both governments. But over the years, that has changed, and our partnership with both countries has developed greatly. So I think it's very encouraging to me that we continue to see more Chinese companies at the Namm Show. In fact, this year we have 3 more Chinese pavilions all around the show, which means it allows smaller companies to share some space and costs to allow them to come to the show. So let me think. The Namm Show for many years was mostly focused on retail business in the United States. This is true from about 1902, our first show, all the way through the 1950s, I would say. But something very dramatic changed during the 1950s, and that was an organization that Namm was very much a part of called the American Music Conference. And this was an education-based organization. So the American Music Conference is an organization that really helped grassroots efforts of music education. And Namm jumped both feet to help grow these organizations, to help support the government that was making decisions about how much money to spend on music education. It also helped expand into the international market. And we had been very active in bringing international business to the trade show over the years. And this is in particular in the 1950s. So I would say over 60 years, we have been very active as an international organization. Well, for many years, we always had two shows, and the big show was usually in the summer, and many people remember that as the Chicago show. That then changed to the Anaheim show in the 1980s. And in the 1990s, we had a regular second show, now referred to as the summer show, starting in Nashville, Tennessee. And the purpose of this show was really to have a smaller regional show in the middle of the United States, but it's grown into being a very important show for education as well as band instrument retailers, because this is the time just before their retail season starts to resupply their mostly their accessories, but also their band instruments. So this was a very important part that was being asked by our members to have this secondary show. And the secondary show, also known as the summer show, really has developed into quite an important part for combo stores, for the guitar, for drums, but also for pro audio. A lot of recording studios and engineers are now attending that show. Hi, this is Dan Del Fiorentino, the music historian for Namm, and you're watching Music in Music.